My husband cheated on me with a much younger teenager, completely disregarded our years of marriage, and now he's spiraling into deep depression because she left him after just a few months. Yet he showed no emotion when I walked away. 4. A few months. He barely reacted when our marriage ended. I, 32F, was married to Cam, 34M, for 6 years, and we'd been together for a total of 16 years. We also share a daughter, Mia, who is 4. A bit of background. I was a stay-at-home mom, and he worked. But I started noticing him coming home late. He became angry often and was constantly on his phone. I'd even caught him looking at some girl's Instagram story before, but I didn't think anything of it at the time. Shortly after that, I found out he was cheating on me with Sky, who was barely legal at 19F. When I found out, I was obviously heartbroken, but also completely disgusted that he was willing to ruin our family for her. I became a stay-at-home mom when our daughter was born, and we'd agreed that he would handle our finances. He would just give me his card to use if I needed to buy anything. I wasn't earning any income then, except for the money I had saved before having our daughter, which I kept in my bank account for emergencies. I felt trapped because I didn't know what to do, and for my daughter's sake, I didn't leave immediately. I got suspicious and decided to look for the girl through his followings on Facebook and Instagram. I found the girl whose Instagram story he was looking at and just assumed it might be her, so I sent her a DM. Long story short, she was incredibly rude. She had zero remorse and kept telling me to bother my cheating husband instead of bothering her. She was fully aware he had a wife and family, but didn't care. She even bragged that he was paying her tuition. I got mad and told her to stay away from my husband, but she just said she'd keep seeing him and that it was just fun. After that, I guess she told my husband, and I think he realized I wasn't going to just let it go. He literally started leaving his location on, even when he went to her college campus. That really infuriated me because I couldn't understand how he was so carelessly destroying everything we had for some girl who wasn't even serious about him and couldn't even legally drink yet. Our daughter Mia attends ballet, and they had a performance coming up. This was truly my breaking point because our child should always come first. He was out all night that Friday, and Saturday was the recital, and he absolutely needed to be there for Mia's first recital. I gave him until 11 p.m., then I finally called him. And guess who picked up the phone? Sky. She told me he was busy and then hung up. That was it. That was my breaking point. I quickly packed some of my and Mia's stuff, woke her up, and we left for my mom's house, which wasn't far. We ended up crashing there for the night, as I didn't want him to come home to us, nor did I want to see him when I woke up. That was a year ago. Now, we're divorced, and I have full custody of Mia while he has visitation rights. I got a job, saved up, and now live in an apartment. While it's not the best, it's good for Mia and me for the time being. Anyway, after the divorce, Cam and Sky ended up getting together for a couple of months. While they were together, he was visiting Mia, but not as often, maybe twice a month. To nobody's surprise, she ended up leaving him after a couple of months. But this is where I might be the jerk. Ever since they broke up, he's been depressed. He drinks a lot, doesn't eat much, and is always sulking on the couch, just not himself. He comes over more often to see Mia now, which is how I know this, and I can't help but feel a certain way. He's all depressed because she left, but he didn't have this energy when we divorced after being together for 16 years. When we divorced, he didn't seem to care at all. He was just nonchalant about it and kept messing around with Sky. But now that this girl you were barely with left you, you're depressed? I know he's going through it, but I can't help but feel a certain way about this. Am I the jerk for being upset that my ex-husband didn't take our divorce the way he took his recent breakup? Update 1. April 23rd, 2025. I'm so overwhelmed right now. I didn't expect this to escalate so quickly, but it did. Firstly, I want to thank everybody who gave me advice. I really appreciate it all. I'm sorry if I took long to reply to comments. I had a busy morning, especially with a 4-year-old who attends preschool and also hates getting up in the morning. A bit of background about their relationship, at least the stuff I know. The divorce happened last year, so at the time, Sky was 18. I clarified this in the comments, but I'm going to say it again. Cam was the one who offered to pay Sky's tuition, and I think he did that to keep her around. After I found out about the affair, he would come home angry. He would call her names and was mad because she was seeing other guys in college and posting herself going to parties. I don't know how long their affair was. All I know is how they met, at least what he told me. Cam told me that they met at a club and he thought Sky was older, but then she later told him it was a fake ID. Now, I don't believe he thought that one bit. Sky screams teenager. I could tell by just one peek at her Instagram. She looks super young, dresses like a teenager, has braces with a very youthful look, and types/acts just like her age. Cam has visitation rights and comes over to see Mia, which I'm going to make arrangements to change. When he comes over, you can just feel the negative energy coming in with him by his attitude and the way he looks. While Mia is occupied, that's when he vents to me about Sky, which I don't know why the hell he does. I will admit I'm stupid as I don't say anything. I just let him talk. I pretty much ignore him when he's here, like he doesn't exist. Wow. He just vents randomly. But let me tell you guys what just happened, and I'm literally so angry. My baby gets out of preschool at 2:30. Usually my mom would pick her up, but I gotta leave early. And her ballet practice is at 4 p.m. During ballet practice, you could either leave your kid there or you can stay. One of my closest girlfriends' daughters also attends the class, and I needed to get groceries for our meals, so with her permission, I left for a bit. My guess is that Cam gave Sky my number because I genuinely don't see how else she could get it. Anyway, long story short, she has read my post and came across it and was furious about it. Guys, no joke, this little girl and her friends were spamming my phone with calls. She would call me and say horrible things, and then next I would get another call from somebody else who would say other stuff. This happened about 7 times. The first 2 times, admittedly, I went back and forth, but as it kept going, I finally got the hint they were playing with my phone, so I started recording and just let them yell and insult. I knew they were all together because when Sky called, first, I could hear other girls giggling or saying slick stuff in the background. I didn't get the whole thing on recording because it came out of the blue, so I only got the last few. If I were to file a harassment report about this, would it be valid or not? I blocked them and threatened to call the cops the last time, and they stopped. But seriously, this is childish. Edit. Forgot to mention that these aren't real names. It's just close to all of our names and all of our correct ages, so I think that's how she figured it was me. Comments where OP has replied. Commenter 1. File harassment charges. Absolutely. Also send all of the information about the affair and all of the recordings of her calls to you to her mommy and daddy. OP's reply. One of my girlfriends is super good at finding people through social media, so I'll definitely send her to look. For Sky's parents. Commenter 1. If Sky has a FB account, her parents can probably be found on her friends list. OP's reply. She doesn't. At least I don't think she does. I looked through Cam's following on Instagram and Facebook before the divorce, and I only found her on Instagram. Commenter. Should go to the police for harassment. OP's reply. Definitely taking her to the police and going to hopefully try and see if I could find her parents. I'd love to message her that, but she's the type to go back and forth. She literally just trolls insults. As I mentioned, she's 19, and she sure does act like it. OP clarifies on custody and the affair. I have full custody, and he has visitation rights. I don't know when the affair started, but all I know is that when I found out, she was 18, and hopefully it didn't start when she was a minor. Update 2. May 7th, 2025. Hi everybody. I posted on here 2 weeks ago about my situation with my ex-husband. I also posted about how Sky and her friends called my phone repeatedly. Firstly, I do want to say thank you to everybody who gave me ideas of what to do about the situation, and I especially want to thank the people who messaged me privately to help me get over this. I also unfortunately had pervs in my messages, and no, my daughter doesn't need a stepdad. On to the update. I ended up emailing Sky's school about the harassment. As I mentioned in the first update, Sky has read my posts, so she took the college. She attended out of her Instagram bio, which she originally had there. Sky, I know you're probably reading this, and unfortunately for you, dumbass, I didn't forget the school you attend. I emailed them about a day after my update, along with photos of my call log, and they finally got back to me this past Monday. They didn't exactly tell me what they did, but to summarize it, they basically told me that they would take care of her and thank me for it. Obviously, Sky learned her lesson as she didn't contact me at all. Unfortunately, neither I nor my girlfriend could find her parents. She doesn't have a Facebook, only an Instagram. She doesn't have many photos up, but the one she does have doesn't show anything of her family, just herself. On to my ex. Soon after my post, I called him and I set boundaries. I told him if he wanted to see Mia, then it was to be done at his home or anywhere but my house. I told him that when it was time for him to come and get Mia, I would just walk her to the car and that he has no permission to come inside my home. He didn't take it lightly. He fussed that he was allowed to go into the home that his daughter is in. I told him that there's no need for him to do that because if he wants to see her and only her, then me bringing her to the car wouldn't be a problem. After a while of fussing, he did accept it eventually. Unfortunately, I was stupid and I decided to try and pry my way into knowing a bit more about their past relationship and the affair. I don't believe that Sky told Cam about the post or anything, as I think he would have been mad or at least brought it up. Cam opened up a little bit and told me a bit more about their whole relationship. He told me that at first, him and Sky were originally just hooking up. Before anything happened, Sky let him know that she didn't want a relationship as she wanted to live the college experience, and Cam didn't take it seriously. Eventually, she started talking to other guys, and he would also see her following go up with other guys in it whenever she said she would go to an event. He tells me that he started paying Sky's tuition because Sky said if he didn't, then she would expose him. I'm not sure what he means by exposed, as he couldn't be talking about exposing him to me because he didn't even seem to care when he got caught. But Sky had told me that he's the one who offered to pay the tuition, so I don't know which one is telling the truth. He told me that he loved Sky but couldn't love her any longer because she was a gold-digging person. Even more confused because Sky literally broke up with him. He also said that Sky didn't listen and that she deserved everything he did to her because there's no reason she should be avoiding him. Mind you, I'm confused as hell. At first, it seemed like he was trying to play victim, but immediately got off topic and really was just raging about Sky. I'm baffled because you were literally just crying over this girl. I ended up questioning him because it literally didn't make sense. He ended up yelling at me, telling me to shut the F*** up and other insults. Eventually, I just hung up the phone because I don't have time for that. Like a child, he blocked me. I ended up just talking to his mom. I asked if during Cam's time with Mia, I could just drop Mia off at her house, and if Cam wants to see Mia, then he could visit there. She's an amazing grandmother, so she accepted. I told her that he blocked me, which she was shocked by and told me that she would talk to him about it. But that's the update currently. Hopefully, Cam gets help because obviously, the nut job needs it. I recently started working out, and I even joined a dating app this past Saturday, like some people requested I did. Good news, I matched with a ton of people. I will also share that I have been a bit down just thinking about my baby girl. I feel like I did wrong picking Cam as her father. I didn't have a good father growing up, so all I wanted was for my kids to have the dad I never had. And at first, Cam was amazing, but now I don't know what's happening. I think it's a midlife crisis, maybe. Sorry for this long post. Thank you to everybody who helped me. Story 2. The wedding surprise. I got married last weekend. I'm still so furious at what my brother did. He completely stole the spotlight from me and my husband. Normally, I don't feel the need to be the center of attention, but this was my freaking wedding day. I feel like it's all anyone was talking about during the wedding, and now it's like the main thing any of them even remember from the entire thing. It was a destination wedding within the US, so nothing crazy. We kept the guest list to our immediate and extended families, as well as closest friends. My parents paid for our immediate family to arrive about 5 days ahead of time. So it was my parents, my sister, and I initially, with my brother arriving a few days later. We knew my brother was bringing a date, no big deal. He said he was just bringing a girl from school. He didn't even call her his girlfriend officially. My parents showed up at the airport to pick my brother up, and there he was, hand in hand, with an obviously pregnant girl that none of us had ever met. My parents were obviously taken aback. My brother greeted them like everything was normal, according to my mom, and my parents didn't really know what to do or say. Then he just said, "Surprise." My poor mom almost fainted and claims my dad yelled out, "What the F*** have you done?" He introduced us to this girl, but didn't clarify if she was his girlfriend and didn't give us much info at all. Really. It was very weird. It was obvious that she was uncomfortable. She said she wasn't feeling well and needed to go lay down after the flight. So at dinner, it was just our family as she was resting. We were all awkwardly sitting around the table, eating dinner, barely saying a word. My mom finally says, "Brother's name, is that your baby?" By then, we all assumed it was. But my mom needed confirmation. The lack of any real explanation or details from him up until then was just odd. He admitted it's technically not his baby, but he's in love with her and intends on being a father to the baby anyway. The actual father isn't involved and doesn't want to be. And if they get married, then he can adopt the baby, so he'll legally be the father. She's living with him, and none of us knew this either. He's been her main support person throughout the entire thing. She's 28 weeks, well, 29 now. Since this was over a week ago, I think this was worse than what we had all assumed. So in love with her that he's going to take on the responsibility of her child and marry her. Yet we've never even heard of her. He said he has mentioned her quite a few times. Well, maybe. He's mentioned her name in passing, not to me, maybe to my parents, but never said she was his girlfriend or pregnant. None of us understand. He's 21, about to graduate college, planning to enter law school next. And he's an attractive guy. Why would he do this? My parents, especially my mom, were stressing out about it all weekend long, throughout my entire wedding weekend. It was like my wedding became an afterthought. All my parents could talk about was how to make my brother change his mind about this girl. Then when the wedding photographer was taking family pictures, he wanted her in them. That was really the breaking point for me. She isn't family. None of us knew about their relationship, and we met her 2 days prior. She shouldn't be in our official family pictures for my wedding. It's like, forget the bride and groom, look at random pregnant woman hitching herself to my brother. No, I told him no. I refused to let her be in the photos. My mom made me allow her to be in one picture, but said we don't have to buy that one or put it on display anywhere. It just made my blood boil. Anyway, I don't think he should have brought her. There was no reason to bring her to my wedding, especially without warning. I mean, it's all my side of the family could talk about, and he was hesitant to even correct them about it not being his baby. He said that's because it was awkward for her to have to explain the full scenario to everyone. So he just let people think what they wanted because he wouldn't at least say something. Everyone was gossiping and wondering about it the whole time. I'm posting this because I'm upset that several friends, and even my own mom, are telling me I'm overreacting and just need to accept it. When I told a group of my coworkers about it after the fact, they weren't at the wedding. They agreed with me and thought what my brother did was absolutely insane and rude. Update, May 12th, 2025. I think I might be about to do what I'm assuming very few people come here to do. I'm sharing an update and want to say that in hindsight, I think I was actually the jerk in my situation. I think I was riding high on wedding hormones and center of the universe vibes at the time, but I've slowly come down to earth in the many weeks since I last posted. I let my worry about the gossip about my brother and his girlfriend get in the way of me enjoying my day, and there's no way to go back and change it. I also realized that I should have just agreed to do one photo with his girlfriend included. One photo wouldn't have been important, and it didn't have to be considered the official photo of me and my family that I put in my wedding album or hung on the wall. Instead, I chose to be a jerk to somebody I was meeting for the first time and who already felt very uncomfortable. For many weeks after I made my first post, I was sure I was not the jerk. My ego has deflated, and I've had a talk with my brother about it. We both came to the conclusion that in our family, we didn't really learn how to have difficult conversations about things that we knew might make somebody else uncomfortable, which is why I couldn't calmly voice my feelings to my brother on my wedding day and instead acted like a spoiled child. It's also why instead of having a normal conversation with our parents to let them know that he was dating somebody who was pregnant by somebody else and that he was going to be raising this baby as his own, he panicked and decided to just announce it without actually having to voice it to them at all. And my wedding just so happened to be the first occasion he had to do so. I don't think he intended to hurt me. Several people have asked me about an update on my brother and his girlfriend. Well, she's his wife now. They got married. They're still together, living together. We've gotten to know her a little better, and she's not as bad as we all wanted to make her out to be. I think she genuinely loves my brother, and my brother loves her. She just so happened to be pregnant when they met, and they both acknowledge it's a bit unusual. My brother is the type who brings all the stray animals home, so I think we all sort of worried that he just felt bad for her and wanted to help her and protect her. But I think it's more than that. I went to her baby shower. She seems perfectly normal and nice and really crazy about my brother. The baby was finally born at 41 weeks, and of course, my brother was there. The baby is several weeks old now. Half the time, I forget that the baby isn't actually my brother's baby and isn't actually related to us by blood. After my wedding, my parents started to get more concerned about the whole situation with my brother. My mom became the most judgmental one. My brother talked to our dad and eventually got him to realize that my brother is an adult and he's going to do what he wants to do. Eventually, my dad was like, "You're right, and I'd rather just support you here." My mom couldn't get on board. She wouldn't let herself even give his girlfriend/wife a chance. She convinced herself that my brother was just being manipulated and taken advantage of by this evil woman. She told everyone that too. So things were sort of tense because I felt somewhat in the middle at that point. But now my mom has been the only person to babysit since the birth. It's like she saw the baby and forgot all about everything. And she's all buddy-buddy with his wife now. I'm shocked that this woman has decided to not completely cut my mom out of the baby's life altogether. But perhaps she's a bigger person than all of us.